Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For some reason, this is the take number 3. Sometimes it's like that. In today's video, you will learn who is Habatnik. What a cute term, right? Habatnik, Habatniczek. Who is this? There are many Habatniks, plural, in the world. You will also hear more about this mysterious blowing up Ukrainian billionaire in Monaco story. I came across a very interesting video that presents a little bit more information. It looks like a lot of people have been involved. And again, whatever they are presenting to us is absolutely BS. We will go to Israel, who is painting bombs for Palestinian children to pick up. And what is on those bombs? He's painting the bombs that look like a soccer ball, you know, when they host those events that Palestinian children and adults as well, but children watch those games. And then they are fascinated. They want to play football or soccer, and they find those little balls, and those balls are actually bombs. I'm going to show you what symbols are on those bombs, at least some of them. Also, many of you know, but if you don't, we're going to look into the capital of New World Order, and also who owns the most land. Very, very interesting video and a lot of things to go through. So let's start. Actually, you know what? We're going to start with something also very suspicious. Here is what took place in Italy, in Milan, yesterday. And I am just wondering if this fire that you see, this is like literally in this on the suburbs, but very close to the center of Milan, in my opinion. What place is burning? This is the logistic facility. I think it's 8,000 square meters, as I was reading it. I'm going to show you one more video, but look at this, guys. Someone says, don't worry, there is no pollution. The problem is the Euro 4 diesel car. That one is polluting, even if you just pay, and it becomes a green lung in an instant. So guys, what's going on? Is this the warning or something? I don't know. I feel like very, very suspicious fire. Here is a little bit more. Let me just find myself again. Here is a little bit more from this. If you are watching me from Italy, I would like you to tell me, maybe you know more than I do. Here you're gonna see how close to the buildings this was. Fire at the Bartolini warehouse. Yeah, 8,000 square meters ablaze. I don't think this is the side effect of Trump-Meloni exchange of not too friendly posts anymore. Okay, I think this is, one moment, everyone. It's my computer. Apologies. Nevertheless, you saw the fire, so you have an idea. I don't know what's going on, but I don't like this fire. Of course, you don't like any fire, but I don't like. Something feels like it's very, very connected with other countries. Let's put it this way. I might be, of course, wrong, but I don't think this is just a coincidence. Now, let's go to this topic, who is Habatnik, because let me just play it. I'm going to play it first, and then I will read it for you, those of you who cannot see the text. But I think it's good to hear with the voice from the journalist and from the guest. Here it is. Explanation, who is Habatnik?
אני מחפש את ארגנטינה.
כן.
אתה יודע למה? מסי, אני יכול לנחש?
לא, לפני זה דווקא יש להם נשיא שהוא,
וואו.
אגב, חב"דניק.
וואו, הוא כוכב.
הוא כוכב עליון, באמת כוכב עליון, הוא עשה שם דברים מדהימים בכלכלה שלהם, על ידי אימוץ עקרונות כלכלה חופשית, אנחנו אוהבים לדבר על זה, אבל מילי הוא ידיד ענק של ישראל. אני מחפש את ארגנטינה.
So now you know, everyone. Let me play it again. This time I will be reading this for you. Milejkowski, you know who, says, I am watching Argentina. Do you know why? And journalist says, no, Messi. Is it because of Messi? I can guess. And Milejkowski says, no, not because of that. They actually have a president who is... Oh, by the way, he's a Habatnik. And journalist says, wow. So let's continue a little bit and then we discuss the Habatnik. Wow. He is a true superstar, Milejkowski says. A really top tier figure. Look at this face expression. He's doing amazing things for their economy by adopting free market economic principles. We like to talk about that. But what does it say? But and that Milei also is a great friend of Israel. Well, it's your cousin, Kamal, man. It's your cousin. Okay. So now, everyone, you know who is Habatnik. Let me go back to myself. Habatniczek is the member of Chabad Lubavitch. The member of Chabad. So simple. So now, remember the test. Are you Habatnik? Are you Habatniczek? Have you been to the wall? Let me find this, guys, one moment. Which one would you prefer? Do you prefer from 2 years ago? Or do you prefer from 2 months ago? I think we're gonna go to 2 years ago because it was more emotional. But he was there again like 2 months ago. So 2 years ago, I think 2 months ago, I believe. Anyway, look, Habatniczek, Habatnik. Yeah, this is the cousin of Milejkowski. So we have a new term, and I think it's good for me to use Habatnik from now on. It's just straight to the point. Many Habatniks around the world. And since we are on the topic of great friend of Israel, now I have to take you to this very disturbing video, but it's important to see. So let's take a look as far as those soccer ball bombs in Palestine. How do they look like?
Bombs as footballs for children in Lebanon to pick up. I'll repeat that again. Israel painted bombs as footballs for children in Lebanon to pick up. Israel painted bombs.
Okay, my apologies. She said Lebanon, but to be honest with you guys, I think this might as well be happening in Palestine. Like, what is surprising, right, at this point? So, do you see this ball? Do you see these symbols? What do you think when you see those symbols? Football has always been a symbol of childhood. Well, I'm going to analyze this symbol for a moment after I read this. A white marks over the red color. A ball rolling through the streets, a match with friends until sunset, and dreams of one day becoming the next football star. It's meant to represent joy, freedom, and innocence. But for some children, even picking up a football has become a life-threatening risk. In Gaza, so this is also in Palestine, and parts of Lebanon, reports have raised alarm over explosive devices disguised as footballs and other objects that resemble children's toys. Something that should bring laughter and excitement has instead become a weapon, forcing families to question the safety of even the most ordinary moments. What makes this especially devastating is that war is no longer confined to military targets or front lines. It reaches homes, neighborhoods, and playgrounds, stripping children of the simple experiences that define childhood. Curiosity becomes dangerous, play becomes a risk, and innocence is replaced by fear. Perhaps the cruelest reality isn't only that wars continue, it's that while the world celebrates football and cheers every goal, some children can't even trust the sight of a football lying on the ground. A game that unites millions has become for others another reminder of the unimaginable cost of war. So now, let's go to this site. Let me just find it, everyone. Let me take you to this. Many of you know what this symbol stands for. This is the symbol that stands for pedophile, okay? That likes little boys, because they are precise in that. Here is from, this is the document, Unclassified Law Enforcement Sensitive. This is FBI. This is the document from FBI. Federal Bureau of Investigation Intelligence Bulletin. Cyber Division, Innocent Images National Initiative, January 31st, 2007. And what does it say? Symbols and logos used by pedophiles to identify sexual preferences. And it goes through this. The Intelligence Bulletin addresses crimes against children, standing intelligence requirements. But we go straight to this symbol. Of course, it's not as round, but this is the symbol here. As you can read, LB logo, aka Little Boy Lover. So yeah, this is officially on FBI website, I think. And they just literally put it in the face of the world to see, as they do with many other things like Disney movies and stuff. Since we are on the topic, I think it's good to take you to the next capital of the New World Order, and many of you know where it is. You remember? Great success, very nice. Borat. You remember that movie? You remember where that movie was taking place? What country was it? Kazakhstan. Yeah. Borat. Very nice. Let's take a look. Astana, the next capital of the New World Order.
So guys, I got the answer to the question you guys have all been asking yourselves. So where is the New World Order capital going to be? Is it going to be New York City, Paris, Beijing? Where? I know the answer. Let's see. Kazakhstan. Very nice. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was cringy, but I had to do it. Okay. I'll show you. It's really not like this anymore. Let's look. Check it out. That's Astana, Kazakhstan. In 1999, it actually looked a lot like Borat. But in 2012, they made quite a bit of progress. Look, they added a couple of Freemasonry pillars, a pyramid on a building, maybe a World Cup trophy. We should probably take a closer look. Whoa, check it out. That's pretty impressive. Kind of looks like Vegas at night. Maybe that is a World Cup trophy. Or maybe it's a big monument to the sun. Or maybe the World Cup trophy is a monument to the sun too. We should probably look in the daytime. Whoa, check it out. Check out the owls. Is that Moloch? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's probably Moloch. Yeah, you got the big Freemasonry towers right there, pillars. Probably one's to the sun, one's to the moon. Got big, almost looks like a White House in the middle of it. Fountains, it's very pretty. Very pretty. Let's look some more. Whoa. Yeah, that's a big bird. I think that's a phoenix. And we know phoenix rise from ashes. I wonder what's going to be in ashes when that phoenix rises. I got a few ideas. It's flying toward what looks to be a pyramid. Yeah, that's definitely a pyramid. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, that's definitely a pyramid. Little Illuminati-ish. Yeah, I mean exactly what it is. It's actually called the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation. When they say peace and safety, you know what happens. Let's take a look inside. There you go. You knew there was an evil eye somewhere. Yeah, an eye with the sunburst right around it, and a big round table. I guess that's where Sauron's telling them all what to do. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, right? Yeah, they're not hiding anything in there, are they? Let's look some more. Whoa, is that a giant spaceship? Or is that an arena where the Hunger Games will be played? Maybe it's both. Either way, pretty cool. Definitely cool. So yeah, you guys probably hadn't seen this place before, have you? I have a feeling it's kind of important. One thing's for sure, it's very nice. Hey guys, if you like this content,
Yeah, great success, right? So someone said in the comments there that you know why? Because they are planning to wipe out, like, destroy, blow up the big cities. Have you seen that on that pyramid, guys, when you pay attention? Have you seen the same symbol that is on those soccer balls for children? A little boy pedophile symbol. Have you seen it? On the pyramid, I think there were like 2 of them highlighted. It's everywhere, like literally. I mean, not everywhere, but like in many places. And once you are aware of those things, like your brain is picking up. I think you have the same. So now, since we are on the topic of blowing up places or people, let's go to this Monaco story, because that story, it's like layers and layers. Who really did it and why? More information is coming out, and I want to play this video for you, since I was reporting on this from the moment it took place. So it's good to follow up on that. Let's take a listen.
Someone has tried to kill an oligarch with a bomb in Monaco. But what has happened after is even wilder. So on June 29th in central Monaco, Vadim Yermolayev, a Ukrainian-born real estate tycoon with business ties to Russian-occupied Crimea, was walking into his apartment building after dinner with his partner and son when a remote parcel bomb was set off. All 3 lived. Keep in mind that Monaco is a place with thousands of cameras. It's one of the most surveilled places in the world, and they average about 1 homicide per decade. Police released this photo, a man in a bucket hat. A massive manhunt begins. Just a little over 48 hours later, they have their suspect and release this photo. Anastasia Berezovska, a 39-year-old Ukrainian woman who had stalked the family for days dressed as a man. Interpol puts out a red notice, but she is already in the wind. She had fled on foot to France, got a rental car, drove across Italy and back to her home just outside of Frankfurt, where then she had disappeared. Then, a week after the bombing, she is found in Kyiv, shot in the head. This is where things start to get very confusing. The Ukrainian police then arrest 2 unnamed men for her murder. One of them is an active serving military intelligence officer in Ukraine. He confesses to her murder. He says he acted completely alone, that his superiors knew nothing about it, and he admitted that he had been wiring Berezovska money before the attack. There's no motive, there's no explanation, that's it. But then this video is released. At one of the 2 men's house, investigators say that they find a basement that looks like a torture chamber. It's got hatches, an axe, and a tarp laid out on the floor. This is all we have right now. We do not know why Yermolayev was targeted. We don't know who ordered the attack. Monaco says that the device was likely too sophisticated for one person to have acted alone. We do not know why she ran back to Ukraine. We do not know why she was killed. This story is still unfolding, and it is quite a bit of a mystery. And the only people left who can explain what's going on are either in jail, completely silent, or are dead. Someone has tried to kill an old...
You want to know what I think? First, I think she didn't do it. Second, I think that actually some people who are in power in Monaco, not the prince, but some in the police department, they kind of know. They knew. I actually feel like, I feel like there is more to it and there is more knowledge. More people knew about it. Of course, it's not going to be reported. I don't believe she did it. I believe they just used her picture as an example of like, this is the person. So many oligarchs from Ukraine that live there. And I think it was connected to another person, wealthy person who was probably having some issues or business problems or whatever money situation with that Yermolayev guy. So let me know what you think. Since we are on the topic of wealth, possessions, let's play this video. Who owns the most land on this planet that we are still on? It's very interesting. Let's take a look.
These are the people who own the most land on Earth. Douglas and Christine Tompkins, the founder of the North Face, and his wife purchased about 2 million acres of land in Chile and Argentina to protect nature and prevent forests from being cleared. Ted Turner, the founder of CNN, owns roughly 2.5 million acres of land spread across the United States. The Williams family. This Australian family owns around 11.1 million acres of land, primarily used for cattle ranching. Among individual private landowners, Gina Reinhart ranks at the top. She owns approximately 24 million acres of land, where mining and cattle operations have helped her build a fortune estimated at between $25 and $30 billion. If you also count indigenous peoples, the Inuit of Nunavut control an enormous amount of land. The Canadian government transferred about 86.5 million acres to them as part of the Nunavut Land Claims Agreement. Technically, the Catholic Church is considered the second largest private landowner in the world. It owns countless properties, including churches, schools, farms, forests, and other land across the globe. Altogether, its holdings are estimated at around 175 million acres, roughly twice the size of Germany. By an overwhelming margin, King Charles III technically ranks first. Approximately 6.4 billion acres of land are formerly held by the Crown. That corresponds to about 1/6 of Earth's total land surface. These holdings include London, parts of the United Kingdom, around 90% of Canada, and 23% of Australia's land area. However, this is largely a legal and constitutional technicality. Most of these lands are state-owned crown lands that are formally vested in the current monarch rather than being the king's personal private property. Among truly private individual landowners, the largest holdings are almost entirely owned by cattle ranchers in Australia and the United States, with Gina Reinhart leading the list. These are the people who own the most.
I don't know how accurate this is, but the end of this video said that also the ranchers in United States and in Australia own a lot of land. No wonder they want to destroy those ranchers, and didn't mention Bill Gates and others, but I think in comparison to those people, Bill Gates is still not, is not really on the top. I think he could be very, very high on that list. I want to check one more thing, guys. I really have to check one more thing. I hope you're okay with this. I want to see as far as, let me just go here. I want to see as far as Kazakhstan and this capital of New World Order. I want to see Does Kazakhstan has Chabad Lubavitch? Is it a rhetorical question? Yes. Kazakhstan has a well-established presence of Chabad Lubavitch, so many Chabadniks, Chabadnichków. In fact, all the rabbis serving as religious leaders in the country are members of the movement. Do you see this? So every rabbi who lives in Kazakhstan and serves in Kazakhstan is already a member of Chabad Lubavitch. They are Chabad centers. There are Chabad centers operating in major cities like Almaty, Astana. This is the new World Order capital, Astana, Karaganda, Kostanay, etc., etc., more. The movement history in the country runs deep. The father of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, so Rebbe Schneerson, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Schneerson, is buried in Almaty. Yeah, so remember Rebbe Schneerson, the grave that everyone visits, his grave? His father is actually buried in Kazakhstan. Very nice. Today, the central campuses in cities like Almaty and Astana include synagogues, mikvahs, and kosher dining. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it's like right in our faces. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit thumbs up if you appreciate the content and subscribe to my channel. It's free of charge and it really helps with the algorithm. And if you choose to support my work, the best way to do it is to become my Patreon member or Locals member. You can support me there. I put the videos that are exclusive over there. Some of them are too much for YouTube. So you can check it out, and you can also, if you choose to donate on PayPal, follow me on Instagram. That's especially for the coming trips that I will be taking and some beautiful places to show you in the world. You find the links down below in the description box. And with this being said, lots of love, and remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you in another video. Bye everyone.